Okay, it's officially 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Molly, can I call on you to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yeah, but I have to stand up because I'm sitting in a car. Hang on.
You're fine.
No, I'm good. Okay.
I can't hear you, Molly. All right, guys, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. I feel like I messed that up. Molly, we couldn't hear you.
Sorry, the audio stayed inside my car.
No worries.
Next time.
Difficulties. Housekeeping notes with the 1 hour meeting. We're going to go from 9 to 10. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. Please keep yourself muted unless you're speaking, and you need to submit your listings for review by noon the day before the meeting. If you have any questions, let us know. Is there anybody here for the first time? Anybody? If you are joining us for the first time, thank you for being here. And then we will move on to our affiliate spotlight, which is Tiffany with Dedicated Credit Repair.
Good morning, everyone. I see a lot of fun little faces in these little boxes right now staring at me. So how are you? Just wanted to come on real quickly and talk a little bit about some trends in the credit industry that are directly impacting, of course, the real estate industry. It's very specific. And I always start by mentioning too, a lot of you know this and some of you don't, but Dedicated Credit Repair is one of only 5 companies in the entire state of California that is registered with the Department of Justice. That, my friends, is a requirement of the credit repair industry, which is why we are in your backyard, obviously. But you know, in this whole entire state of California, we work with clients, well, frankly, nationwide. But we restore credit for individuals. A lot of lenders, a lot of banks use us because we are legally allowed to do what we do. So I always wanted to stress that because I feel like there's a few misconceptions out there about how we could be doing what we do legally. So it's our 16th year in business. We've helped thousands of clients, many of which are even your clients, obtain the dream of home ownership. So that being said, I did want to cover a couple things. Once COVID happened, we did anticipate some things that were going to happen on the credit reports, and certainly they did happen. So we have seen a huge influx of loan deferment comments, of course, loan modifications, and now even the words natural disaster hitting the credit reports. What we knew, of course, is that the CARES Act was going to protect a lot of people from having negative things hitting their credit in terms of their scores being impacted. However, what we weren't and what clients didn't realize was that positive credit was no longer being reported. So for a very short period of time, we've seen that between the months of March and July, there were many creditors that were not reporting any sort of credit history whatsoever so that they wouldn't be in violation of the CARES Act. So as you know, 30% of a FICO score is calculated on the utilization of credit numbers. So when you don't have positive trade lines or credit lines reporting on a credit report, it definitely impacted FICO scores pretty substantially. So we have had an influx of clients Googling us, frankly, from areas in California and outside of, saying, well, apparently I need credit repair and I'm not sure why. And we looked at their credit. It's simply because a lot of their credit lines were just temporarily not reporting. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. The FICO score is making some adjustments. We've seen that it is not impacting when clients are paying off debt. What used to be a quick rapid rescore from the lender is no longer working as efficiently. So we are seeing a little lag in that. So in other words, clients are no longer temporarily able to wait to the last minute to repair their credit. We're asking clients, do not wait to restore your credit. Give us 6 months. Our program is usually a 3 to 6 month window of time, but with COVID and all of the delays, we're really wanting to get the messaging out there to not only our real estate partners, but also to clients that they really need to start looking at those credit reports about 6 months before they're going to purchase a home. So the more information you can share with your clients, the better. So I do encourage you to go to Dedicated Credit Repair's Facebook page, go to our website, which is dcrusa.com. And please, please use our credit tips, repost them, get those out there so that your clients are aware of some of the COVID-19 related credit challenges so they can overcome them proactively rather than waiting till the last minute. So just wanted to kind of talk about that. Also, we have seen a lot of clients with an increase in debt and an increase in collection account activity. When a consumer has a new collection account hit their credit report, it'll absolutely cause a 60 to 80 point deduction real time in their FICO scores. So a client that was pre-qualified to purchase in June, for example, by August, when that collection account hits the report, they're no longer qualified to purchase. They may lose 80 to 100 points real time on those FICO scores. So we are encouraging clients to settle collections. That is something that's a little newer. We used to be very cautious when telling consumers to do that, especially prior to purchasing, because of course, paying a collection can instantly drop a score. So what we see is that when you pay a collection, we have a 90% chance of removal after the fact. So really, really good idea to be working with a credit repair company like ours proactively so that we can get those FICO scores up in a quick manner. So just wanted to cover those things. Our team is still operational. We did take a short little hiatus where we were working from home, and we realized as a team collectively that we were just safer and happier in our office. We are not seeing clients in order to keep my team safe and avoid some HR disasters. We have closed the office to the public, so we're doing all of our consultations nationwide via Zoom and or phone. We are accommodating evening consultation requests, but our team is here 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and going strong. So if you have any questions relating to your own personal credit or any clients that you feel like you'd like to refer over to us, of course, we do have a free consultation, always have, always will. That's a 30 to 40 minute consultation that we do give every single client, even if we know that they're not quite ready for credit repair. And then last thing I wanted to mention is that credit repair and debt settlement are not the same thing. Debt settlement is for individuals still having a very substantial hardship with debt. They're managing their debt. They're in a financial hamster wheel, so to speak, and they need assistance. That is unfortunately not what we do. We are credit repair. So essentially we are the plastic surgery after that phase. So after the divorce, after the unexpected death of a family member and things like that. So we are the plastic surgery of credit after the hardship. And truly that is the client that should be looking at homes or refinancing when they're through the financial hardship. So just want to kind of mention that too. So anyhow, we're here. We're so grateful for all of your support for now 16 years. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to send them our way. Thanks, guys.
Tiffany, I see a question in the chat. It says, can you give us a ballpark of what score should be if trying to purchase a home?
Sorry, I should probably always be wearing my glasses. You know, it's interesting. You know, VA buyers, we're still seeing about a 580 requirement. You know, it's funny, FICO for FHA 640 to 680, still pretty standard. There are some lenders that can go much lower than that. I won't mention names as to, you know, not to confuse people, but it really kind of depends on the mortgage lenders and the overlays that are required by their specific. But honestly, even if they increased it and standard was 680, it really wouldn't be that much of a change in our world, because taking someone from a 640 to a 680 happens in 30 to 45 days. So even though there was a short period of time where lenders were really cracking down and increasing those FICO scores, there was a temporary freak out mode, I think. But really, it's not a thing for us. It just takes us another, you know, couple weeks to do that. So not a problem at all.
Awesome. Thank you. I don't see any other questions, so we will move on to the Did You Know segment. And I don't know, Sylvia, are you going first?
I'm not sure, but I could go next if you want me to.
I just have it. I have it, but you're talking, oh, I'll start with the closed transactions then. For the week of August 10th through the 16th, we closed 239 transactions compared to last year. This week, it was 266. So we're still seeing fairly close to what it was. And then I have Sylvia to talk about, I believe it's violations.
Thank you, Jenna, and good morning, everyone. I am here to talk to you about the SRCAR common violations. And one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you about this is because we don't like seeing people getting fined, especially for things that can be avoided. And so what separates the SRCAR data from public data is that the information is accurate. And so in order to ensure that accuracy, there's policies in place. And unfortunately, when people break the rules, there's consequences as well. And so I'm going to review some of the most common offenses and ways that you can avoid them. Now when my computer does that, okay, let me try again. So the first thing that I wanted to go over with you is that you can access compliance just like you would accessing the SRCAR staff. You can go to crmls.org, and this is the page that will come up, and you can click on the compliance box, and it'll take you directly to that section. When you have questions, when in doubt, it's better to ask. Because some violations do not have a warning. So it's an automatic fine, and we are going to go over those violations. So when in doubt, just go ahead and ask. You can go into compliance and do the live chat. There's also great tools on the CRMLS FAQs, which is what I use to put the presentation together for you today. And at the end of my presentation, I will include all those links on the chat so that you have them handy. But they have a lot of great information. They don't want you to get fined. In order to avoid the issuance of an additional citation, violations must be corrected within 2 business days. So whenever somebody gets a violation and there is a warning, they do get 2 business days to correct that. The first thing that I wanted to go over with you are exterior photo requirements. So whenever you have a listing, you are required within 2 calendar days of entering the listing to input at least 1 photo of the outside of the house. There's no warning for this violation, and it's an automatic $250 fine. And the reason is that when you input your listing, you do get a written warning that you need to input a photo. And so once you're past that time frame, it's an automatic violation, and there's no, you can contest it, but more than likely it will not be removed. So you can avoid that by adding at least 1 photo or rendering of the exterior structure of the listed property within 2 calendar days. And this does not apply to business opportunity listings or listings that are canceled within 5 calendar days. The next one is branded photos and media. So again, there's no warning for this one because you do get a written warning when you're inputting this information. And this is the photo. So they're referring to any photos or any virtual links, virtual tours that you're adding. And so this is a $100 fine, and things that you want to not include to avoid this violation, and it is written in red letters for you when you're inputting this information, is no agent, broker, or brokerages, names, contact information, emails, website addresses, no messages or solicitations like call me for more information or price reduction. That type of verbiage is not allowed. Photographs of children. A common one is photographs of pets. People forget that their pets cannot be included in the photos, and so that is a violation, and it does come with a $100 fine. So no branding whatsoever in the photos, just the picture of the house and the interior of the house or property. Copyright issues. So this one, again, same thing. There's no warning. It is a very large fine, an automatic $1,500 fine for copyright violations. And some examples of these are when you take photos from somebody else. So a common violation that we see people using photos from Google or Facebook or even listings from other agents. that's not allowed. So one thing that you can do to avoid that is take the photos yourself. This also applies to verbiage. We do see people copy verbiage word for word from somebody else's description. And so that is not allowed, that's copyrighted. And same thing goes with you stealing information from social media sites, internet sites. If you don't have written permission to use that verbiage or that media, you will receive a violation. So you can have a photographer take photos on your behalf, but make sure that you have the correct licensing to be able to reuse those photos. Sometimes photographers will just release use for you to use it in the MLS, but not for the internet. So that's when the issues with syndication happen, because it does read to internet sites outside of the MLS, and they will report that I did not give them permission to promote in Zillow, and I see this picture in Zillow. And so you do have to be very clear in what kind of licensing and rights you're getting with your media. And CAR does have a form called the PIA, the Property Images Agreement, where you can get that information in writing. Having a verbal agreement with a photographer or your client is not enough. Something that we see happen as well is that agents will get pictures from the seller, and the seller got permission to use the pictures from the listing agent, the previous listing agent, but the previous listing agent had photos taken by a professional photographer who only gave rights to the listing agent, and there were limited rights for that listing. And so now it's a chain of effects, and the end is that they did not have the proper rights to use those photos. So you do have to be very careful, and when in doubt, ask. And also CRMLS does have a database of photographers that have agreed to the terms of the use of the MLS, which includes the syndication and the proper licensing, so that you don't have to worry about those things. So again, don't steal photos from another agent, website, or third party, including CRMLS. This includes your own photos. So once you input a listing into the MLS and upload your photos, they're watermarked by the CRMLS logo. If you save that photo onto your desktop and then re-upload it with the watermark, that's copyrighted. So you have to use your original photos to prevent a copyright violation. So don't use photos from Google, Bing, Yahoo, Getty, or other third-party images unless you have a very clear written agreement that you have the right to use that media in those sites. Mandatory submission of listing. So there is a warning for this one, and the fine can vary between 1% of the list price, no less than $500, and not to exceed $2,500. I have seen the $2,500 fine be issued out, and CRMLS does give a warning. So when they send notice of this violation, they give you an additional 2 business days for you to input your listing. So when somebody gets a $2,500 violation, they've already been notified and given a warning that they needed to submit their listing, and they didn't. So please keep that in mind. And also with CRMLS, if it's a constant offense for a specific agent or brokerage, then there might not be any more warnings, and the consequences escalate. So, but CRMLS does give warnings for those violations. So something new that was launched today actually is the enter the property as registered. And so whenever you have your listing, you have to input it within 2 business days of the effective listing date. And you get 3 options. The first option is entered as a registered listing. So this means that there's no public marketing allowed. There's just marketing within the brokerage. You can enter it as a coming soon, and that means there's no showing. So the property is being marketed, but there's just no showings, and then you have your regular active status. And at the end of the presentation, I will include the FAQs for both the registered and the coming soon, so you can see the difference between the 2 and how to use them effectively and within the guidelines. Mandatory submission upon marketing. So this is in relating to the registered status. When you input a listing in registered, it means that you're not marketing to the public. The moment that you market to the public, you have 1 business day to input the listing as either a coming soon or an active listing. And you would enter it as a coming soon if the property is not available to show. Otherwise, it would have to go in as an active listing. And there is a warning for this, and the fine is 1% of the list price and no less than 500 or not to exceed 2,500. So they're huge fines, but CRMLS does give warnings because what they really want is for the integrity of the data to be maintained. Misuse of public remarks, there's no warning for this one. This is an automatic $250 fine, and this occurs when agents put in information or verbiage placed in the public remarks that is not a description of the property. And so an example, we went over that information. If you're putting gate codes, putting words like property is vacant, if you're putting email addresses, contact information, all of that is not allowed. Public remarks, also known as the description, is only to describe the property. And you do get a written warning before you input your listing, so that is why it's an automatic fine. And lastly, the last common violation is the inaccurate information, which is mostly relating to auto sold violations. We get emails about these every single day. And it's unfortunate because before a listing goes into auto sold, which means that when you input your listing into backup or pending, you have to put in an estimated close of escrow date. And before you reach that date, 14 days before, CRMLS starts sending you warnings like an email, a pop-up, that you're approaching that date and you should either extend it, or if your listing is going to close on that day, that you change it to sold. Unfortunately, agents just ignore those warnings, and then CRMLS, on the day that the listing reaches auto sold status, they send an additional warning to the brokerage and to the agent so they can correct this violation, and there's no fine. But unfortunately, they don't fix it within the 2 business days, and then they get a fine, and that's when they contact us, can you help me fix it? And we can fix it, but unfortunately, the fine is not gonna go away. So it's really an unnecessary fine for people to get. You get a lot of warnings, so just be aware of those pop-ups that you get when you log into your CRMLS. I know that a lot of the times you're logging in because you have work to do, but take some time out of your day to go through those pop-ups. Normally what I do is I click read later so that I can go back later in the day and read them. I need to read them because I need to be informed to be able to inform our members, but you should be informed as well so that you can save yourself some money and not pay any unnecessary fees. And that is all that I have for you today. If you have questions, you can put them on the chat and I'll try to answer them while we have our presentation today for our marketing meeting. And if I don't have the answer, I will email you directly once I talk to compliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. I don't see any questions, but like she said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let her know. And then we will now move on to our property preview. And I believe that Kim is up first. On the other hands, we will move on to committee updates. I will kick it off with YPN. We have our month of giving still going on. So we did our school supply drive. We already did drop off to the foster agency, but if you guys still have anything, we're more than happy to make the arrangements to pick up. I know sometimes we get some stuff in at the last minute. We are also still having our reverse raffle. I posted that flyer in the chat if you want to see the details. We're selling 100 tickets for $100. I just checked the spreadsheet. We are over halfway sold out. And once we hit 100, we're done. On the August 27th, we will be pulling the winners, and the 50th ticket pulled is a winner and the 100th ticket pulled is a winner. You get your choice of 3 prizes, MacBook, a wine country staycation, or $1,000 cash. All the proceeds after the prizes will go to Project 99, which is a local organization that helps with teen mental health and suicide awareness. So they're a great organization that we want to support. And we're still encouraging people to do random acts of kindness. If you do something, post about it, tag us, share, and challenge 3 other members. We're just trying to spread some love and kindness throughout the community. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Any of the committee members on YPN can sell you a raffle ticket, or you can call SRCAR directly. Who would like to go next?
I'll go for the affiliate committee.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Lisa Wayman, and I am your co-chair for the affiliate committee, and we are putting together a tax panel on Tuesday, August 25th. That's next Tuesday. It's from 12 to 1:30. And I think I saw Sylvia just post something in the chat about it. It popped up on my screen. And we will be talking about the PPP loans and how they'll affect taxes next year. And Dino Champagne will be talking about the 1031 tax exchange. So it should be a lot of great information that we'll all need for next year's joyful taxes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good
Ali-
morning. Can you hear me? Let's see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you sure can. Hi, this is Alicia Almadio. I am your Women's Council President for 2020. And we have been talking about our virtual fashion show that was coming up here next week. And due to the COVID regulations and different things and statistics that are coming up, we've pushed that back out a little bit further to October 1st. So I wanted to make sure that you mark that on your calendars. We're looking to do that October 1st from 4 to 6. It's completely virtual. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing your own real estate professionals out there and some of our local boutiques showing off some of the new fashion that's coming up in fall. I know it sounds kind of hard to talk about fall colors and sweaters when it's 112 degrees, but it's going to be a lot of fun. This is for our Cancer Association, so we're looking forward to give back to that. So if you're interested in being a sponsor or contributing or being involved, please reach out to me. I'll put my contact information in the chat box. And if I may extend on one more, we have our Leadership Academy. We're on the law of contribution. And I think during these times when we think about discussing how to pivot and all of our goals have changed, being able to lead through this strongly and talk about how to contribute is a strong factor, which I think just ties in perfectly with what YPN is doing, Act of Kindness, being able to bring back and look for the good in what's happening in the world. And we can be a leader in this industry in regarding how to contribute back. So I'd love to have you a part of that. That's August 28th. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Did we have anyone else with any other committee updates?
Jenna, I don't think that Barbara is on the Zoom call, so I'll update for the Education Committee.
Thank you.
Next week on Wednesday, August 26th, we have upcoming SIG class best practices working with agents. So this is all of the best practices that you want to use when you're with agents, working with agents. And in this market where we're so busy and we have multiple offers and it's very difficult to get back to everyone, you know, this is a great class to teach how to best communicate with other agents. So SIG, for those of you that don't know, is a local designation here at SRCAR. There's 8 classes. And after you successfully complete all 8 classes, you receive the local designation. You're able to use the SIG logo in your marketing. And the classes are once a month, $30 a class. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Did we have anybody else? I think we're good. I don't see anyone else here for committee updates. So we'll move on to the calendar. Sylvia has done an excellent job. She's put a bunch of the flyers in our chat for the upcoming calendar. And also I want to touch on the fact that the 2021 payment plan options are available. So please make sure if you want to utilize that you guys get that in by the end of the month and share it with agents in your office. So yeah, take a look at the flyers Sylvia's posted and take a look at the calendar. Our board is doing an amazing job by offering something every day for everyone. So be sure to utilize that while we have the time. Lastly, we have the town crier, and the only thing I have is, for those of you who may or may not know, Adam Ruiz is running for District 4 for our Temecula City Council. If you guys live in District 4, watch for his name on the ballot. Support him and share with your friends. If you have any questions, please reach out to him. He'd be happy to talk to you. I think that's it, unless anybody else has anything they'd like to say. Anybody? Nope. If not, have a great day.
You look absolutely stunning, Jenna. You guys all have a great day.
You too. Bye, guys.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.